And we are back for our second match. Of course, hopefully you were able to watch Gilja defeat JJang 2-1 in our first match of this evening. We do have many more matches to come, including PVT. This is going to be JJang versus Bless in our next matchup. And this should be interesting, by the way. My name is Jason Lee, joined by Greg Field, also known as Idra. And this is going to be a very interesting matchup, as we have someone who's actually very well known, but maybe not just yet for his StarCraft II play.
Yeah, Bless is actually the War 3 Orc player Lin, who, one of the best Orc players in the world, if not the best. So, and he's been successful for a very long time. He's one of the biggest names in the War 3 community. So it's really interesting to see him switch over and start to play Star 2 competitively.
How hard is it to cross over from RTS game to RTS games?
Well, from StarCraft to StarCraft 2, it wasn't that hard because everything transfers pretty directly. But Warcraft to StarCraft is a huge difference. It's a very different style of RTS because StarCraft is all economics focused. It's not nearly as big of a deal in Warcraft. It's much more about micro and army control and that kind of thing. And you can see that in their play. Most Warcraft players are much more micro-oriented, very aggressive players. So it'll be interesting to see if Lin plays like that. Okay, well, that's going to be an interesting matchup. Of course, he will be under the name Bless when it comes to StarCraft 2. And his opponent is JJang. He is a Protoss player, just 18 years of age. So not the oldest player out there, but certainly I find that players the younger of age are certainly quite good themselves as well. They kind of have that magic age, sort of say, of getting started. And here he is right now, JJang, 18 years of age. His real name, An Jung-min. He likes to play against Zergs, and his favorite map is Lost Temple. That will not be one of the maps that he will be using in today's match. Favorite unit is the Zealot. And his favorite player, TSL SSKS. Yeah, that's actually Tester. Has been pretty much the best Protoss player in the world since the beginning of the beta. Okay, well, we'll see how he does against someone that is going to be a bigger name, perhaps, but we'll see how he does in this particular game. Well, it looks like giving a little bit of a smile there, knows that he's being introduced, knows he's on TV. Give him a little hi mom kind of look. And here is Lin. He's also known as Pak Jun, and in this particular game he's known as Bless. And you can see the We Made Fox team sponsorship on his shirt. So someone who's been around the block, he's been known, he's played under the spotlight before, and we've talked before about how much of an advantage that can be when you don't have to deal with the nerves that other people might have to deal with. Oh yeah, he's played on an international stage for years and won on it, so he's not going to have nerve issues here at all. Another interesting thing is that all of the We Made War 3 players actually played in the qualifiers, and Lin's the only one who made it through. Soccer and Moon both lost. So, well, we're going to certainly have a chance to see how he does in this particular game. And interesting how you mentioned that even Moon lost, because Moon, obviously one of the most famous Warcraft 3 players in the world, especially when it comes down to looking at micro. But perhaps might have been his Achilles heel coming into this, as maybe depending too much on that. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, he made it through the finals of his group, but then lost. Don't really know how, but if any War 3 player could be expected to do well, it'd be him. Like 400 APM, great mechanics, a great brain for RTS. So it really was quite surprising to me that he didn't make it. We'll see if his teammate can continue on to another round. It is Lin, also known as Bless. He's going to be up against JJang and Terran versus Protoss. Let's talk about this particular matchup as we look at the maps that it's going to be on. Zelnaga Caverns, Steps of War, Scrap Station. Which maps do you like for which race? Well, unfortunately, I don't know as much about this matchup as I'm a Zerg player, but Steps of War really favors Terran here because it's such a short rush distance. Like you siege push across the map, you leapfrog twice, and you're at their base. So that's very difficult for Protoss. All right, and let's take a look at the maps. You can see here Zelnaga Caverns, as we see, is going to be the map for set number 1. By the way, maps excluded by the players. JJang did not want to use Delta Quadrant or Shakur's Plateau, and Bless did not want Blistering Sands and Lost Temple.
So that was our first set. Set number 2 will be on Steps of War, as we take a look at the map. And set 3 is going to be on Scrap Station. And as you mentioned briefly, exactly which maps are going to be better for which race. Was it Steps of War that you were saying for Terran?
Steps of War is a big Terran map, and Scrap Station for the third set should be really interesting, because in general I think it favors Protoss in that it's very hard for Terran to be aggressive because of such a long rush distance, but we have seen a lot of really cool builds from Terran players that took advantage of the map. I forget who it was, but in last season, the round of 64, someone did a Banshee Marine push with a quick Raven, and he actually killed the rocks and came through the short rush distance, and it was a one base all-in, and he used the Raven point defense drone to block the Stalkers, and the Banshee Marine army just cleaned everything up really easily. So we could see something really cool like that, or we could see just KorJang run away with it in a macro game.
All right, well, let's see exactly what is going to happen. We go to our second game of this round of 64 on this day. As mentioned, KorJang versus Bless. It is Protoss versus Terran as we get set for the match. Let's go to set number 1. All right, we had a quick look at Bless there, and this now is KorJang, our Protoss player, in the bottom left corner of the map. There is our official introduction. I could have done that. And let's take a look at his opponent. Bless, also known as Bakjun, and if you are a Warcraft 3 fan, also known as Lin. Actions per minute, you can see KorJang up around 300, 350. Bless is down, well, he's around the 250 to 300 mark. Both players obviously very fast. Do you know what your actions per minute are, or what's the fastest you've ever achieved?
Mine actually varies a lot. In offline games, I often go up to 180, 190, and online games, it's usually around 150, so on average.
And now this is compared to some of these guys you're saying like are around 300-400.
Well, in StarCraft II, it's measured differently because of the game speed or something. In StarCraft I, I was around 320. But yeah, Moon is ridiculously fast by any standards, like 400. I think Lin is also a very fast player, or Bless, sorry.
Well, we'll see if that plays into fact here. Obviously, actions per minute can be very advantageous, but it's not everything. Sometimes, I mean, if you're going that fast, it's also very easy to make a mistake when you're doing that many APMs as well.
Oh, certainly. You get a lot of players who really just stop thinking and focus everything on going as fast as they can, being perfectly clean, which is good to an extent. But really, you have to keep in mind it is a strategy game at the heart of it, so you really have to think while you play, no matter what. Very standard openings from everyone so far. Just making that Marine to kill the scouting probe, and Protoss headed for a Cybercore, I believe.
Both players checking out each other's bases, so...
That's a quick second guess.
Is indeed there for KorJang. Bless waiting at his rampway, making sure that no other probes come in to spot what exactly he is doing.
The second bear is a tech lab going down. I don't believe he has a second gas yet, so this could be just light Marine Marauder pressure while he expands. Oh, yeah, with a Scout Reaper.
And of course the Reaper, new unit to StarCraft II compared to StarCraft I, and definitely very useful, as you mentioned, for scouting. So much more that you can do, and so much easier to keep it alive a lot longer than any other scouting units from a Terran standpoint.
Yep. I believe he's also getting concussive cells, so it looks like it could be a Marine Marauder rush after using this Reaper to scout.
Would love to get that probe, and he does before he gets too much information. The one thing he did spot was the Reaper. Probably will know that it's coming down eventually to scout out.
Yeah. This is actually interesting, because if he had gone straight to his base with the Reaper, he might have gotten a probe kill, because KorJang actually went for a sentry first instead of a stalker. And obviously, you need the Stalker to defend the Reapers. Sentries are also light units. Oh, he proxied a pylon. He's going to find it here. This is really big.
And on his way over, and indeed. So look at this. A great play here by Bless as he goes over, guessing that perhaps there might be a proxy somewhere, and indeed does find it. Stalker out early for Korjang, trying to defend against the Reaper, making sure that it's not going to find its way into the base to get too much information.
Yep. And a command center going up for Bless, so it will be just a light Marine Marauder. Nothing too strong. It's just kind of keep the Protoss on the defensive, give you an idea what they're doing while you secure your own expansion.
Second Marauder. And looking like going to be in for a little bit of a longer. It's, neither side really showing too much aggression. Here is this Reaper from the backside, and it's picked off. Yep. Did not want to lose that early, but did get a little bit of information.
Yeah, I believe he saw the robotics. I don't think he saw the gateway count, though, and the gateway count's what important. Because at this point, you can either expand off the robotics pretty much the same way Terran's doing, just get enough of force to defend and possibly be aggressive and expand behind it, or you can go up to 3 or even 4 warp gates and actually just go try to kill them. So without seeing the gateways, Bless doesn't know which is going on, so he still has to play kind of defensively at this point.
Robotics facility complete with an observer on its way. Bunker being added by Bless.
And the observer just got to his base, so Korjang should now know that he's expanded and that there's no real danger at the moment.
So a little bit of downtime as both players defending and are making sure that they're not going to be compromised as to their strategies. Neither are.
Twilight Council in a Forge. This means that he'll be focusing more on gateway unit play for the time being, not rushing for a Colossus or anything. Could be going for Templars or Blink Stalkers and Charge Zealots.
Both players with 1 expansion. Stalker should easily win that battle against the Marine.
Oh, a Ghost Academy.
Ghost Academy being added by Bless.
Ghost play is very powerful versus Protoss, but you haven't seen so much of it lately because everyone's just been focusing on Marauders with Viking support. So this would be nice to see.
Nice to see the Ghost being used a little more often in StarCraft II.
Oh yeah.
Definitely one of those units you really didn't see in StarCraft I.
No, it's now a very good unit. I think we'll be seeing a lot more use in the future as people get more comfortable with less standard strategies. Something's upgrading at the Citadel. Hope they show us what.
Forge upgrading
and a Templar
as well. And Templar Archives halfway complete. Starport is complete now for Bless.
And he's building the reactor for it, so it should be seeing medevac with... Yeah, it should be pure medevac play since it's not going Colossus.
So Bless sticking with bionic units for the time being.
Yeah. This actually produces really entertaining games because what we're going to see is High Templar versus Ghost, and it just comes down to who can EMP or feedback or storm first. And the armies are so fragile that, you know, just split-second differences on the timing of their spells makes all the difference in the world. So it'll be really exciting to see this.
Would you say that going to a micro battle that Bless should have the advantage?
That would make sense given his background. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about Korjang, but as a War 3 player, if there's anything Lin should excel at, it's definitely micro.
Well, he is microing his units in the direction of Korjang's base.
This is a really dangerous timing because Psystorm isn't going to be finished upgrading if he goes right now.
Observer, by the way, has been following that pack, so Korjang knows exactly what's coming. Meanwhile, a scan here by Bless to take a look at exactly what he's up against. He decides that he likes it and decides to engage. He's going to push.
Wow, that was really
Force
nice.
fields placed in. And getting some good shots, able to get through somewhat.
Those force fields were really clutch. If he had allowed him to just rush in there, he would have died because Psystorm just finished now. It wouldn't have been in time.
Good play by JJang. And both players are going to back off for the time being.
Oh, a Warp Prism. This will be very nice to see. We don't, very few players right now really take advantage of Warp Prism harass, so it's good to see him doing this. He's also started upgrading Charge for his Zealots, which makes them much, much stronger.
Les trying to take out the rock to give him an extra expansion possibility. And indeed, he's going to work on the expansion. Ditto here for JJang. And that is actually going to force JJang to back off on that, as he noticed that Bless was headed in his direction.
And Bless is actually getting the cloak upgrade for his Ghost, and he got the energy upgrade, so he's going to be playing very heavy Ghosts, which should be interesting to see. I think he's also started to produce Hellions, which is actually very smart in this situation, because when you're going Templar, you need to get a lot of Zealots, because you don't have much excess gas. So mixing in Hellions with his army is very smart here.
Twilight Council upgrading Zealot legs. And is he going to be ready to advance in? Let's take a look. Got a drop on the backside.
Oh, this is really nicely done.
Nice drop here. Look at this. Hellion harassment. Meanwhile,
wow.
trying to go through the front side as well. A double attack here by Bless. Coming in from both ends. Probes coming out to help out in desperation. Bless having his way here. Finally backs off.
Yeah, those were perfect storms. I guess he missed all his EMPs or something, but all the Marauders survived anyway, and he lost a lot of probes there. And I think Bless's expansion at the gold base should be finished by now. He makes a planetary there, and he's completely safe from a counter, and he has a 3 base to 2 advantage. So Bless is in a really good situation right now. It's going to take some perfect storms to really turn this. Yep, he is getting a planetary. It's going to take some perfect storms, and really, it's going to Bless is going to have to miss micro to lose this.
And gaining those high yield minerals. Let's take a look at his mineral advantage. Certainly, he is well ahead. Unit count up as well. And it certainly is looking good from a numbers standpoint for Bless. And now also healing all his units, just like new, ready to head out again.
Yeah, JJang, he actually has a relatively tiny army, only 3 Templars. And with Cloak, he can actually run up and snipe the Templars now with his Ghosts.
5 Ghosts in the possession of Bless.
Another expansion. But we do see a Warp Prism coming around, some harassment play, which is really JJang's only chance right now. He has to find some way to even out the economy.
Warp Prism taking a peek. Unable to really do too much right now. Hellions coming around.
Oh no.
And able to get through that.
He actually didn't lose a single Templar there. That's surprising. Zealot. Of all the things he could warp in there, 3 Zealots seems like an odd choice. And now he loses the Warp
Prism is going to go down.
Yeah.
And here...
That was a bit of a waste by JJang.
Yeah, he just kind of had it sitting there for a while. Didn't really accomplish much. In fact, in the end, just wasted minerals.
Yeah, I think he just got a supply depot there, so I didn't really see the point. Well, he's finally started his 3rd Nexus down the bottom right.
And it looks like he wants to come out, bringing some Templars with them. Backs off after spotting the scan. 3 Ghosts there at the front, and look at that!
Huge EMP. I think that got every single Templar.
And they are hurting as they're on the run.
Wow.
And backing off in retreat, back to the base, and this, I think, indeed will be the end. A huge play by the Ghosts at the front of the pack, and that is going to finish off JJang in this first set. There's the GG! Bless goes on to victory!
That was incredible. That was absolutely perfect EMPs. He got every Templar with the first one and every Sentry with the second one.
Great play. He did the scan just before that. He had the ghosts at the front, 3 of them, nailed a huge EMP, and was able to move on to victory here in this first set over GOMTV. So Bless now with a 1-set lead.
Yep, and they're moving on to Steps to War, which, again, is a very good map for Terran. And this is a good situation for Bless. I think he'll be able to wrap it up here.
By the way, it seemed very apparent to me that the audience here is very pro Bless. Obviously, some
definitely.
Warcraft 3 fans here.
He definitely brought some fans with him today, yeah.
He brought a pack. It might not be the amount of Boxer, but he certainly has.
Not quite. But
he still has his fan base here. Let's talk about the turning point of set number 1. What was the slide in his favor?
I think it was probably that first attack that hit right before Storm came out, because even though GOMTV defended it, it kind of put him on the back foot. It let Bless take full map control, and he never really gave it up. And he was able to use that to do that multiple point when he dropped in the main at the same time as attacking the front. And that's what really ended the game, because it killed all the probes. The fact that he had map control from the initial engagement allowed him to do that, because there was no way for GOMTV to get out and scout or follow his army movement or anything like that.
Yeah, it really did snowball in terms of bases as well. Bless was able to move on. Let's see what happens in set number 2.